Happy Saturday afternoon, everyone. I know we're a little bit late, but things happen, and we are here still to bring you our quick breakdown of tomorrow's big game between the Tampa Bay Bucks and, of course, our Detroit Lions. I'm not going to hold you guys up too much today, but we're going to jump straight into the injury report real quick. And as of a couple hours ago, matter of fact, we're looking at Khalif Raymond listed as out, did not practice all week, dealing with that knee injury. James Houston, linebacker, full week of practice, listed as questionable. Sam Laporta, Alexander Zaloni, Brian Branch, Kirby Joseph, Frank Ragnow, and tight end Brock Wright. Well, going from Alexander Zaloni, Brian Branch, Kirby Joseph, Frank Brown, Brock Wright, all listed as unspecified. Most of those guys I'm pretty sure will play, as well as James Houston.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so before we jump into Tampa and what's going on with them and their injury report, anything about that really stands out to you?
No, no. I think everything is pretty much true to form. We're worried about Khalif Raymond a little bit, so he's not going to play. Yeah, I'm ecstatic. James Houston is playing. I don't know how much, maybe 10 to 15 snaps from what I'm hearing. So yeah, I mean, I think we're pretty healthy, Walt. I think that's a key going. That's an advantage. I think going into the game. So oh, you're on mute. Yeah, you got
I was still reading
yeah.
the injury report on the other page, but no,
Yeah.
I was just saying, just in general, that I think the injury to Khalif is gonna be tough. I think we
Hmm.
got enough guys to make up for it, honestly, on offense for what we missed from him. Frank Ragnow, of course, we already know how things go with Frank on a week to week basis. Sam being ready to play had a full day Wednesday, and you talking about limited on Thursday and Friday, which makes sense. I mean, first practice of the week, you want to get as much out of them, I think, as you can. Then rest them,
Yeah.
pretty much
Yeah.
take it easy those final couple of days of practice. So that's no surprise. Anzalone, of course, he's toughing things out with the shoulder and ribs. And Kirby Joseph dealing with the knee, but he did have a full week of practice, which is a great sign. If we head over to the Bucks real quick, you're talking about Shaq Barrett. I think this is big for them.
Hmm.
Dealing with
Yeah.
the ankle injury, did not practice Wednesday or Thursday, and then turned around and was limited on Friday. Now maybe the Bucks feel like they don't really need a complete week of practice or even half a week of practice out of him. He is
Yeah.
a seasoned vet, a champion. They know what his job is. He knows what it is, and he does it to a T. So, still don't know what they're going to get out of him. At the end of the day, it's an ankle injury, and you're talking about one of the best ankle shifters in the league, and Jameer Gibbs being on the field. So, we're gonna
Yeah.
find out about him, I think, real early, especially if he does play. Your boy Yaya Diaby, of course,
Hmm.
linebacker, he's dealing with a shoulder injury. Did not practice Wednesday, was limited on Thursday, and had a full day of practice on Friday. He's listed as unspecified. Chris Godwin, dealing with a knee injury and also personal, did not practice Wednesday or Friday, and then was limited on Thursday. He's unspecified. I think if he's not out there, that's huge for them as well. Chase Edmonds, don't know how much, well, at least how big of a role he was going to play for them anyway. Consider the fact that they don't run the ball that much between the tackles. They will get him the ball out in space, though. Dealing with a toe injury, we already know how huge toe injuries are to running backs. And this is something that I think people haven't talked about at all this week, and that's Baker Mayfield dealing with an ankle injury as well as some ribs. He did have a full week of practice Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
Uh-huh.
And of course, one thing that you can never say negative about Baker is he's not a gamer.
Yeah.
He's not tough, and he's not gonna come to play.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. Yeah, and I think Walt, I think that's what I just don't want to people to overlook the Bucks, man. I get it. I mean, because I believe the Lions are a better team. You know what I'm saying? I think we're gonna win this game. I do, but what I'm saying, the Bucks pose a couple different issues that the Rams didn't pose last week. You know what I'm saying? I think the greatest equalizer in the NFL playoffs is a team that's young. You know what I'm saying? A team that's the term young and dumb. I think that having, not much experience, but they do. I mean, like you said, you mentioned in the last show, they got 6 or 7 guys that was on that Super Bowl winning team. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, in some areas, they do have some youth. Some youth. You know what I'm saying? And a quarterback who's kind of resurrected his career a little bit. So I think it is a pathway for the Bucs to cause some problems, man. I don't want to put a percentage on it. I think my level of concern is about I'll just say it this way. I'll say my confidence level, if we 1 to 10, I think it's an 8 for the Lions. You know what I'm saying? I just don't. I think that this game, you could see the Lions, maybe going toe to toe in the first half and then pulling away and then hammering this game home in the third quarter. You know what I'm saying? Fourth quarter, something like that, running the ball and being able to do some things. But I think that having Tampa to be able to stop the run could maybe, it may take a half to figure it out, offensively, Walt. You know what I'm saying? Because remember, the last game was tooth and nail. They was going toe to toe, throwing haymakers. It felt like a playoff game. I think me and you even said that, like when they played the first time. So I really do think that it's a situation where, Jared Goff finds himself now on the other side of the field, like I'm the better quarterback. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we don't really have that advantage. I mean, obviously having a home crowd is a heck of an advantage, for us. I mean, we could really turn it up just by gaining some momentum from the crowd. But having our guy being like the guy who should win this game is we find ourselves with Goff, like, who's won in the play. Heck, Baker's won in the playoffs. So it's not like he hasn't won any games either. You know what I mean? So I think it's going to be a good game. I really do. I think, I can see the Lions pulling away. I can see 27-17, 27-16, something like that. The Lions winning this game, Walt. But yeah, when it comes down to it, Laporta, who was more of a decoy, I thought last week. I think you figure he's going to be healthy. You mentioned Jahmyr Gibbs didn't play in the last game, and I think we talked, earlier in the week. You think Jahmyr Gibbs going to? I think so too. While we lockstep, I think Gibbs is going to be a guy you got to account for him on the outside. And then, like you were saying last week, not letting getting away from Montgomery is a mistake. You got to get him involved too. You know what I mean? And I think that having 2 running backs, Tampa don't, Rashad White is a different kind of running back. He is productive now. I mean, I don't people say, oh, Tampa can't run the ball, but he is productive. He hella productive. Look at his stats, man. You know what I'm saying? Damn near identical to David Montgomery. You know what I'm saying? I think he's got more all-purpose yards than Jahmyr Gibbs. So he is a back that is going to be involved in this game. But it could come down to which quarterback is not going to take care of the football. That could be the equalizer and lose the game either
Yeah,
way. You know
I
what I'm
can
saying?
agree with that
Baker will
definitely.
give us one. You know what I'm saying, Walt? I
Yeah,
mean, where we could sit back. Kirby Joseph plays center field, pretty good in the back end of it. You know who I really want to make a play? I mean, he talking smack. I want to see CJ turn up and make a play, man. You know what I'm saying? You, and I like that people didn't like that he's poking at Baker Mayfield, but
he are
certain
Rasheed
guys,
Wallace.
certain guys can do that, man,
Yeah,
and back it up. But I would look for CJ to try to make a play out there tomorrow too.
yeah. I think it's the game. I believe is going to be kind of on par with what we saw back in Week 6. Mainly because I think both teams are solid enough at the line of scrimmage on both sides of the football where it's going to be damn near impossible to blow either team out. So it could come down to a big play to Mike Evans, a big play by JMO, a few crucial third down conversions by Detroit. We got to make sure we get that going.
Mm-hmm.
But when I look at Tampa, they create a lot of extra possessions defensively for their offense. And when I look at if you can not turn the ball over the way we didn't turn the ball over against the Rams last week, you're kind of tying the Bucs one of their hands behind their back because for a team that doesn't like to run the ball the way they don't like to run the football, they live off a lot of big plays with
Mm-hmm.
Mike Evans and Godwin and those boys. And then, like I said, defensively, they stop the run. But if you limit their ability to take the ball away, no forced fumbles, no fumble recoveries, no picks, it's damn
Mm-hmm.
near impossible to generate consistent offense off of that. because
Right.
if you don't run
Right.
the football well enough, you're going to lack at the time of possession.
Right.
And that's why I feel when I look at us from our point of view, Vita Vea is a load in the middle of that defense.
Yep.
And I don't expect him to not play well today. So rushing the ball wise, they held us to 40 yards back in week 6. I think we more than double that. I think we get somewhere between 96 and maybe 110, 115. Not even that much more. I just don't think
Mhm.
it's going to be that easy to run the football on Tampa. But
Yeah. Yeah.
I think we run the ball well enough. I think we run the ball better than them.
Yep.
And at the end of the day, somewhere to the tune of maybe 4.2 yards per carry should be able to get the job done. And I think that's the way we hold them off. I got Lions 19-17.
Yeah, yeah, I can see that. I mean, and that's fair. I mean, absolutely. And you know what, people, I can't believe, people just talk and like say, well, you didn't blow the Rams out, or if we don't win this game by a blowout, then people still have something to say. But just remember, I said, just advance. When you get in, just advance, man. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter how you win. Listen, all these teams are good. Okay. I mean, I've heard people, some people say Tampa's not good, but they are, you know what I'm saying? All these teams deserve to be where they're at. Look at the Tech. You think the Texans don't think they can go in there and beat Baltimore? You don't think that Buffalo not ready to play the Chiefs? You know what I'm saying? All of these teams, you got to realize it's a other team on the other side of the field. And those guys are just as talented as you, in certain areas. You may be more talented, but Pride is a bad boy. Pride is a bad Pride is a
Pride,
bad boy. You know what I'm
pride in
saying?
matchups.
That's a bad boy.
Pride in matchups, man.
You
Pride in
know,
matchups. So
you
I just
know.
like with Tampa too. I got the question of we saw what happened last week. I think a lot of people felt like we took our foot off the gas in the second half, or the Rams made adjustments and we couldn't do anything offensively in the second half.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like a lot of the aggression we get from our offense and productivity we get from our offense is based upon what the opponent is doing.
Yeah.
We're counterpunchers more than anything else, I think.
Yeah. Yep. You're right, boss.
And
You're
if the
right.
Rams, let's say for instance, the Rams, instead of getting 3 field goals on those 3 red zone attempts they had in the second half, let's say they got 3 touchdowns, or not even 3 touchdowns. Let's say they got 1 touchdown or 2 field goals.
Yeah.
I think the offense would have attacked a little bit more in the second half.
You preach it, nah, bro. You preaching, and
So
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like for Tampa, if you can't run the football or you're not going to run the football, how do you really expect to beat us like that? Because you can't keep us honest. And offensively, if they can't keep us honest, how do they really expect to beat us?
Turnovers. I think it's something weird happened. You know what I'm saying? Walt, we just have a golf meltdown, couple
A
picks.
guy
Remember,
start putting the ball
we've
on the
seen
floor.
that game. You know what I'm saying? Well,
Yeah.
he's thrown 2 pick sixes in the game. I'm not putting it in the atmosphere, but it is a pathway for the Bucs to win. I mean, it'd have to be like that for me. You know what I'm
Kind of
saying?
flukish.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just some, turnovers, fumbles, dropped kickoff or something, and they, change possession, just like that. But I think that our team gonna be ready to play, man. But when you get down to it, we talked about Vita Vea. I mean, how much do you think Vita Vea Walt's gonna be, impacted in this game? Tell people who don't even know who Vita Vea is, so like the casual NFL fan. Tell the people who's Vita Vea. I mean, what is he? You know what I'm saying? Should we be worried that he could take the game over?
I mean, he's the anchor of their defense.
Mm.
He's a prototypical nose tackle. I think Vita's around 6'3", 6'4", somewhere north of 330, close to
Damn.
340.
Wow.
Very athletic for his size.
Yeah.
He gave the interior of our offensive line hell back in
Hell
week
yeah.
6.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not a big sack guy, but that's not really what you expect from a nose
Yeah.
tackle. He
Right.
does everything they need him to do. He keeps Levante David and Devin White clean, able to run sideline to sideline to make plays. He's something to deal with. You got to take
Yeah.
Vita serious,
Mm-hmm.
because if him and the rest of those guys in the inside of that defensive line, if they're able to take away our interior our interior running, now what we gonna do? Because those linebackers they have in that set, they're fast enough to get sideline to sideline to give a guy like Gibbs issues. I
Mm-hmm.
thought that was a problem that happened in the second half against the Rams.
Yeah.
They were able to get sideline to sideline, and a lot of those play schemes that we had for Jameer that worked in the first half didn't work in the second. So yes, Vita's someone we really need to worry about. I say this for Lions fans who don't know much about Vita Vea, whether you're the casual fan or you're into football but you don't watch Tampa Bay that much, or you don't really focus on the interior of a defensive line that much, which most fans don't. He's what we want Broderick Martin to be in the middle of our defense. He's a guy that takes on double teams consistently, can shed, can make plays in the run game, can handle
Mhm.
the A gap, and damn near sometimes he's athletic enough to get over to the B gap and make plays. So he's a difference maker. He's somebody that you definitely got to account for.
I got you. Got you. Understood. Understood. Yeah, and I just wanted to just because some people may not know who he is, so you don't follow Tampa football. But yeah, I mean, I agree with you on that front. I just think that when it comes down to it, I think our offense is too much. We got too many weapons. You know what I'm saying? We got too many weapons, and we could absolutely win this game by just matter of attrition. You know what I mean? Just having more. You know, options to go to, you know what I'm saying? Especially at the end of the football game. So just look for another Rockets crowd. I think I love that we get another chance to have a home playoff game. Walt, I think that's just real special, around here. And now it's gonna maybe become the way of life. You know what I mean? I was listening to Pat Caputo, and he was just talking about the Lions in good shape, financially. Trust me, y'all, we're gonna break all the money situation down. We're gonna break the salary
Oh
cap
yeah,
down. We breaking free agents down. We breaking all of
position
that down.
groups,
So everybody will know like what shape we in, because I think we in a window now, Walt, but now we got to turn this team into
a
a,
dynasty.
a good right. You know what I'm saying? Because now you got players that need to get paid. That's not the show today, but we're gonna talk about that. But what
Hopefully,
I'm
we'll talk
saying
about
is,
it in another 3 weeks.
yeah, another 3 weeks. Yeah, right. You're right.
Let's be
Yeah,
honest.
so you saying Walt 1917. I got 27-16. I won't be on record, but so we pretty much got them a low scoring game under 50. I think the over and under is 50. So I
Mhm.
think it'll be an under game. I think for the Lions, I think it'll be best suited for them to keep this game under 50. You don't want to have Baker 38-35. You don't want to do that. I don't think you want to play with fire, because you could be prone to Jared Goff
Mistakes.
dropping back 40 times and throwing two interceptions or something like that. So if we set up the run for the pass, that's our motto, that's our job. We sticking to it, that type of thing. That's our MO. And I love that about our team, man. I think that, you know, in the games we've lost, I think that, I think Tampa's going to come out trying to not let us run the football, because if they do, it's curtains. I think that pick your poison. But I think that for Goff to have a good game, for Goff to be successful, for Goff to have another game where everybody, says this is the good Jared Goff, we have to be able to run the ball. And I think early, it's always good to have a good start on offense if you're the Lions. The worst thing that can happen for the Lions is they can get down 10, 13 points early, and then they got to play from behind and start pressing. You know what I'm saying? Because Dan Campbell's always said we play best when we're the hunter. Not when we're on top, we're expected to win. That's when sometimes the Lions crap their bed a little bit sometimes. You know what I'm saying? We've seen it last 2
Mhm.
years, big we play Seattle, we play, we should have beat Green Bay on Thanksgiving. I thought everybody thought that, we were going to beat Green Bay. I thought everybody thought we were going to go into Chicago and win. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes when a team knows that you're desperate, or knows that they have you in a sweet spot, then they can pin their ears back. And I think that that's what their defense is all about. I think that they want to get a lead. So now they know you got to throw the ball, and then they getting ready to blitz every play, that type of thing. So I think we can play into their hands if we don't score early. And I think this Lions team, the only issues, like I said, on offense, is they either slow start, or we have a lead, and then the third quarter we come out and we can't score, or for whatever reason play calling is get more conservative. So I like that, we used our field goal kicker. I like that. We may not need him this week. Hopefully it's not a close game. We don't need Michael Badgley, but we might need him next week if and then Lord forbid we go to the Super Bowl. We definitely need everybody hands on deck. So, yeah, well, I think that's all for me today. You know what I'm saying? We really don't have to really like bury it to the ground because we know what this game is. You know what I'm saying? You know how important, and we both been talking. Everybody knows how important this game is. You know what I'm saying? When we win this game, we in the conversation. You know what I'm saying? We in the conversation of the top 4 teams possibly going to the Super Bowl and winning the Super Bowl. That's what's at stake. You know what I'm saying? It's not like some just regular game. I think that for the players, that's going to amp it up really another notch for guys that's never been here. Guys in it, who knows what Taylor Decker future holds. You think Taylor Decker don't want to play? Who knows? Graham Glasgow going to be here next year. You know what I'm saying? These guys, look at Josh Reynolds, another guy who's been great. The last 4 or 5 weeks, and it was great last week. He's gonna want to play ball. You know what I'm saying? These guys won't really want to get out there. Anzarike, you mentioned him. I think you hit the nail on the head. I think look for him and Pascal to benefit from James Houston. Hopefully James Houston can come back and have, maybe not. We're not looking for him to get 2 sacks, first game back, and he's missed damn near the whole season. But it would be nice for him to be out there and show some flashes. So yeah, that's all for me. Well, I just believe that the Lions gonna win this game, and I think we're gonna be back here Monday. And we're gonna break it all down, and we're gonna get ready for the NFC Championship game. Hopefully, it's in Detroit. You know what I mean? So we can turn on our Packer. We can put on our Packer helmets on for one game tonight, Walt, because those guys they play the 49ers tonight. And I think it's gonna be interesting. Very interesting to see how that game's gonna unfold tonight. So
Well, that's what's up. All right, Lions fans, we will be back in a couple days, hopefully to break down a Lions win and possibly be getting ready to host the Green Bay Packers in the NFC Championship. I know that's something all Lions fans never thought they would be seen, actually. Even if you did feel like this team was going to eventually hit the NFC Championship this year, that's a lot of faith that you had in this team. I don't think anyone had us hosting the game, and for damn sure not against Green Bay. So that's for sure a possibility. But we'll be back in a couple days to break down some positivity for our Detroit Lions. One pride.